Hey guys, Stable at VGC here, and welcome back to more World Cup action on the channel. Today we're here with a match versus Bartosz Ekiert for Team Poland. I myself, of course, am from Team Canada. This is for the group stages week 2 of World Cup, so Canada has made it out of the qualifiers, and now we are on to top 32 in the round robin there. So Bartosz, of course, a very good player, and I'm looking forward to this match quite a bit leading up to the week. Anyways, so a lot of pre-scouting gets done in these kinds of tournaments, right? So it was kind of they were using a lot of Zacian, I was using a lot of Zacian, so both of us kind of didn't really, I guess neither of us, I personally didn't want to play Zacian into Zacian unless I really had to. So I figured I'd change it up. Chances are they were going to change it up as well. As you see, they did. So Mimikyu, Trick Room, Kyogre stuff's been picking up in usage a little bit. So I figured, you know what, it kind of worked. I was prepping with it and I was like, you know what, let's roll with it. And I'm very happy when I saw this matchup in Team Preview. I'm going to be perfectly honest. I was super happy with this, right? I have knockoff on the Rillaboom. I have my Incineroar. I should be able to get Trick Room up. They don't really have too many ways to stop me from just going fake out Trick Room, right? That was the game plan, right? Once I get Trick Room up, my Rillaboom, my Incin, my Kyogre, they kind of do Rillaboom, Incin, Kyogre things and just kind of rip through this team. The problem for me, though, is that Weezing, right? The Weezing puts on a lot of pressure because it stops my Kyogre, and if it's on the field beforehand, before my Rillaboom, then I don't get the grassy terrain either, so Grassy Glide, obviously not going to come too clutch right there. However, like I said before, my game plan here, very simply, lead Mimikyu, get Fake Out, get Trick Room up, and then go from there, right? And just kind of pile it around. So that's exactly what my game plan was game 1, and that's exactly what I'm going to try and execute here game 1. So I'm going to jump into things right now, and we'll see how this goes. So basically, I didn't commentate the previous set from World Cup that I uploaded. You guys let me know. You said, hey, we want match analysis on these videos. It's more entertaining, or I don't know why. But either way, makes sense. Completely understandable. Here we are with the match analysis right now, and we're gonna see Mienshao, Calyrex. So I'm perfectly content with this, right? Mienshao cannot fake out my Mimikyu, which is phenomenal. So you expect fake out going into Rillaboom. I think there's a perfectly acceptable assumption here, right? There's not much I could potentially do. I could hard switch Rillaboom, which I guess is an option. I didn't really like that too much here. So I think here I just kind of try to play it safe. You know, I figured I'd go for either a knockoff or a U-turn. If I get the chance to, I think I U-turned, right? Yeah. I basically U-turned saying if I get the chance to pivot off the field here, I can get some more pressure on in Trick Room. Like, if he just lets me get Trick Room, U-turn into Kyogre, the game is over. I don't think I'm going to get it, but I think it's better than hard swapping Rillaboom, right? Because Rillaboom can eat the Fake Out, no problem. And it can also eat an Astro Barrage that was obviously coming in right now, right? So you don't really want to be going too much into hard switching here, because Rillaboom is probably my safest way to eat that attack. But they're actually going to switch out to Calyrex here, which is perfectly fair. They don't know what my Mimikyu has. Obviously, they can't fake it out, and they can't kill it in one shot. So maybe if I just Shadow Claw straight into that thing, it makes perfect sense. So the Fake Out coming out into Rillaboom as expected here, and I am going to get that Trick Room up. So super content with this first turn, right? The problem, like I said, though, is still this Weezing. I don't have too many ways to hit it outside of this Kyogre that's in the back, but now that it's on the field without Rain being up, it's actually going to be able to take these hits a little bit better than it should be, because Weezing's not known for its special defense, but Kyogre outside of Rain isn't that much of a powerhouse. Still super strong, don't get me wrong, just not really going to be looking for those Okos or the one-shots that's really going to be picking up in the Rain. So basically at this point, I'm trying to chip this Mienshao, just to kind of weaken it, break the sash, which I know is there. Right, the sash should be on the Mienshao. If the sash is not on Mienshao, I have a lot of questions, unless maybe perhaps it's a Jetpack, which is an option, right? The Jetpack Mienshao has been picking up in usage as well, so that's an option there. But like I said, I wanted to get that thing chipped. Seeing the switch out to me means, yeah, it's probably going to be Focus Sash. You don't want to lose that sash, right? So good news is here, I get massive damage into Rillaboom on this switching, right? We get the big U-turn, and I believe I got a Play Rough into it as well. The fact that U-turn just did over 50% is absolutely wild to me. But anyways, this allows me basically, I believe I came into Kyogre. I should have gone Kyogre here, right? Ryan, go Kyogre. Well, I think that's a misplay on mine. I feel like Kyogre would have been perfectly fine here, because I'm getting big damage, right, with the Play Rough into this Rillaboom. right? I do thankfully connect that player off into the Rillaboom. Like I said, it's into red. I could have easily gone Kyogre, baited something out here, even protect the Kyogre, pivoted it instant for the Mimikyu, and that would have actually given me a switch in the back. So, a little bit of a misplay right here, but I still don't hate my positioning, right? We're still in Trick Room. Rillaboom, which is the biggest threat to my Kyogre, has been chipped down, and I have zero complaints at this moment. Right? At this point, it's one of the things, like, I need to start chipping this Weezing now because I need to get it out of here. Obviously, I'm going to kill the Rillaboom. No problem there. I'm going to go into that slot, right? The switch-ins are Mienshao or Calyrex, and neither of those you really want to be taking damage with here. So I'd imagine Rillaboom just wants to either fake out or just go down here. Fake out makes the most sense to me. Seems to be the most optimal play from their end, but I've seen weirder plays in the past. Rillaboom's actually going to reveal that Protect right here, which is good information going into game 2, but nothing too crazy or too game-changing in this game 1 here. So we're going to get the Sludge Bomb from Weezing. We do see it's actually slower than my Mimikyu here, which is perfectly fine, but that's good to know for outside of Trick Room and future turns in future games. But Rillaboom's going to get that Grassy Terrain back, but once again, I'm in the exact same spot basically that I was in prior to this, right? I believe there's one more turn of Trick Room, and this I believe is a little bit of an awkward spot. Because right now with one more turn left of Trick Room, I think I'm actually going to check that. There's actually 2. Okay, so there's 2 turns left of Trick Room, right? And I know just from positioning wise that the concept here is on the last turn of Trick Room, they want to either U-turn out or let something die to get Calyrex in. So that way after Trick Room they can just capitalize. Because right now the Mimikyu's disguise is broken. They can just shatter their way right through that with the Astro Barrage, right? So at this point, I'm very confident Trick Room is not going back up. What I need to do is find a way to either stop Calyrex from coming onto field and doing huge damage, or if I'm going to let it do huge damage, I need to punish it for doing huge damage. My concept here was get Rillaboom onto field so I can find a way to get a knockoff off, right? Basically, I'm saying if you want to kill Mimikyu to stop my Trick Room, you're going to have to sacrifice your Calyrex, right? That's the way I was kind of going or approaching, I should say, this matchup, right? In the last turns of Trick Room, right, or when you want to stop Trick Room from going up again, I need you to pay a price, right? I need you to say either let me get Trick Room up or don't let me get Trick Room up, switch out, but then like let me get Trick Room up and pay a price, or don't let me get Trick Room up and or don't let me get Trick Room up but pay the price. I don't know. I butchered that statement. I don't know. Basically, they're either going to let me get Trick Room up and die, or they're not going to let me get Trick Room up and be perfectly... Sorry, they're going to let me get Trick Room up and not get... And then Trick Room's up, or they're going... Okay, English is a hard language. Either Trick Room's going up, or they're going to stop Trick Room and lose their Calyrex. There we go. Statement finished, okay? Statement finished. Okay. So, but like I said, that's the concept here, right? Obviously, Calyrex probably wants to protect on his last turn of Trick Room. I'm not too concerned with that. Right? So, as I said, my Incineroar is going out, and I was a little bit shocked that they didn't try to go after Mimikyu here with this Weezing. I mean, it makes sense, right? You've seen the fact that I'm Shadow Claw now that I revealed it, so you know I'm not Shadow Sneak, right? Sludge Bomb into Rillaboom was a very, very nice play right there. Super thankful I did not get poisoned, because this Rillaboom is a Assault Vest. I should be capable of taking a Astro Barrage right here, and I'm very confident in that statement. I'm very confident in this spread that I'm able to take this. So at this point, I've gotten exactly what I wanted. Rillaboom is going to be faster than Weezing, going to be able to knock off and punish this Calyrex if you don't give me Trick Room. I figured you're not going to let me get Trick Room here, so I'm going to pivot into my Incineroar, get some switch-ins, maybe keep Mimikyu for the late game, because Mimikyu can always beat that Mienshao. I believe on variations of this team, oftentimes you see Rock Tomb onto Mienshao, which it's going to hurt the Mimikyu, but I don't know if it's actually going to pick up the knockout from that range, so I may be able to get a late game player up onto it, which is why I kind of saved it there. But we're going to see the Astro Barrage. Rillaboom's actually going to go down right there with a critical hit, and I believe right there that's going to cost me the game. Knowing my spread, I was super confident in being able to take that. Had I gotten that knockoff off, I think we're in a phenomenal spot, because Rillaboom's gone. It's just a Weezing. I still have a full health Kyogre, but now Calyrex is alive. Not only is it alive, it's at +1. And Incineroar gets poisoned here, but at 39 HP, I wasn't taking anything from Cali anyways. The biggest concern was losing Rillaboom there. Had I killed Kali, I think the game is over. Mienshao, I don't think can break through this, because all I'd have to do is kind of fake out to chip the sash away, and eventually I'd be alright. And I might not even be doing that. I could just technically just double in with like a Flare Blitz and a Scald. That would have picked it up as well. So that to me is the biggest problem. That crit was massive. I don't think my positioning was the best case scenario. Obviously, I didn't do enough in Trick Room, right? I was in Trick Room and I did absolutely nothing about it, right? I didn't punish him. All I did was kill a Rillaboom, which was great, but I let the threat come onto field and do exactly what I didn't want it to do, right? When you're playing Kali, you've got to position yourself where, okay, if they're going to take a knockout here, I'm going to have to kill it in return. So that's the way I like to approach it, at least. Like, okay, feel free to take a knockout on a mon I no longer need, and I'm going to punish you from that by taking you out, right? We'll take a 1-for-1 trade. You'll trade your restricted for a mon that I take out, right? Sometimes it's my restricted, sometimes it's something else, right? But if I can take that, that's a positive trade. Because if you let Kali kill him on without taking Kali out, then the steamroll starts happening, and that's exactly what we're seeing right here, right? The steamroll's happening now. I've lost Rillaboom to the crit. Kali is now at +2. Mimikyu comes back in, and I've got nothing, absolutely nothing I can do right here. I Scald, I hope for maybe some sort of crit, maybe kill the Kali. I do not get either of those. I do get the burn, which is nice. But once again, I'm super low on Kyogre right here, and it's just not enough. You also see the fact that the burn is not actually enough to kill Kali after another protect. Had I maybe been able to protect Kyogre, you know, maybe protect Mimikyu. I don't have protect on Mimikyu, but had I had it, it would have been something. But like, had I been able to protect out here, let the Calyrex go down, maybe there was a chance, but I'm pretty sure close combat from Mienshao in the end game here takes me out. At this point, it's just, what am I going to click here? I'm not going to get an attack off, right? It's a simple Astral Barrage, and it's just going to take out both of us. There's no surprises right there, right? So Mimikyu, Kyogre are going to go down here, and that crit is just super unfortunate. And it's one of the things where I can't really afford to tilt, if you know what I mean. So, like, I can't let that affect how I play game 2. So, Bartosz, of course, very well played on their end. They did exactly what they needed to do, right? They played to their win con, got to the spot where Kali was on the field outside of Trick Room, tipped my Rillaboom to what I'm assuming they thought was enough. I still think I would have survived that, but the crit's unfortunate. Nothing we can do there, and they're going to take game 1 here. So, at this point, like I said, it's important to not tilt, right? I personally don't know if I did a very good job of that. I like to think I normally am pretty quote-unquote level-headed, if you want to use that terminology, where I don't tilt too often. But I'm going to be honest, that one was super frustrating, because I'm pretty confident I lived that. But anyways, enough about that. We got to focus on game 2. So here's the thing where I still don't think Rillaboom Mimikyu gets countered very easily from my opponent's end, right? They only have so many options, right? I'd imagine Rillaboom comes out as a lead from them, because what that does is it forces me to fake out the Rillaboom, right? So if I have to fake out Rillaboom and they potentially go Grassy Glide Astral Barrage, because I think that's their best play, right? Is to Grassy Glide Astral Barrage. And that will take out my Mimikyu, and that's hoping that my Rillaboom just goes for, I don't know, maybe fake out, or I don't know what that would hope for, right? I don't think it's a great play, but I do think at least them leading that at least pressures that, and at least makes me think about it, right? And especially being up a game, you want to either try something new or continue putting on pressure. And Rillaboom Calyrex does both of that. Not only does it try something that you can take knowledge into game 3 with, right? You see Rillaboom speed tiers, you potentially know how much damage you're doing, you know fake out damage, right? You see all that stuff, right? But at the same time, it also puts on immense pressure for me because I'm forced to click fake out, right? I mean, granted, I could just straight up go for the knockoff onto Kali. It's one of the things where knocking off Kali is nice, but the thing is they need to stop Trick Room, and at the same time, they also need to stop the knockoff. They know that I have it now. So, I'd imagine we're going to see the Rillaboom here. It just makes the most sense. Mienshao in the back still makes sense. Mienshao puts on a lot of pressure late game and is nice for the pivot around, for the wide guards, for Kyogre and stuff. But as you do see the Rillaboom and the Calyrex here, which is exactly what I was expecting. So, my game 2 game plan is normally involving me having won game 1, and I didn't realize that I should have changed that option here. right? Because what I need to do is I need to just knock off and Trick Room. Knock off Trick Room is 100% the correct play, right? Because what happens, right? If they fake out Rillaboom and Astro Barrage, Trick Room goes up, I'm still in a perfectly fine spot. However, if they Grassy Glide and kill Mimikyu with the Astro Barrage, Rillaboom gets the knockoff and kills Calyrex. So, like I said before in Game 1, the concept I like to play with Calyrex here is if you're going to kill a Pokemon, I'm just going to take you out that turn, so it's not too big of a deal. But I do go for the Fake Out into Rillaboom here, which does not help me. Right? Astro Barrage is coming out. We're going to see how much damage it does into Rillaboom. Rillaboom, of course, going to take that, and as you can see, that is not 117 points of damage, so I would have taken that in the last game, but that's fine. We're going to lose our Disguise, and Trick Room is going to go up. We do see the Life Orb there, which we already saw in Game 1. And now I'm not too happy with this. I'm not, like, in the best of moods, because I do have a free potential knockoff. I have a Shadow Claw, but you know very well that Callie's not staying on the field. It's just one of those things where, now that I'm down a game, my opponent has, I don't want to say nothing to lose, because they do have technically the game to lose, and this is not an easy set by any means on either end, right? So I still have to cover the option of Callie staying in, because if my opponent predicts the fact that I'm going to ignore the Calyrex and they just launch an Astro Barrage here, I just straight up lose the game. Even if I get instant Kyogre on the field, I still don't think it's enough because Rillaboom's on the field, right? So it would still be annoying here, but we're going to see Weezing switch on in for that Calyrex, which is perfectly fine and perfectly, I think, probably the correct play. I don't know if there's too much else that could really happen right there. And we're going to see Rillaboom go for U-turn here. And Rillaboom being slower than my Rillaboom is, I want to say, expected. I wasn't 100% certain, but this pace did look super familiar to me, and I did happen to recognize most of the team. So I was expecting it to be slower, but it was still kind of one of those things where I was kind of hopeful it wouldn't be, you know? Anyways, Rillaboom's going to get the U-turn, and we are going to break that sash on Mienshao, or the presumed sash on Mienshao. So Rillaboom's going to come back out, and here I believe this time I go Ogre. I have zero reason not to go Kyogre right now. Rillaboom's not on the field, Mienshao's sash is chipped, it dies to a Scald. Weezing is the problem. Weezing is the problem. I said it initially in this analysis. It's the problem here. So we're going to get some grassy terrain health back. Mimikyu's back to full health, which, you know what, is interesting. Because a lot of people, I remember back when Mimikyu was released, it was like Sash Mimikyu, right? You'd break the Disguise, you wouldn't actually take health chip, and then you'd have a Sash. So they literally doubling into Mimikyu still wouldn't kill it, right? Which is absolutely broken. But with two turns of grass, you actually get back to full health. So potentially having Protect on Mimikyu would be an interesting way to actually still utilize Focus Sash Mimikyu. I don't think it's great, but it could be interesting. Anyways, back to the match. It's one of those things where now I have to start prioritizing, and I'm wasting my Trick Room turns. Mimikyu doesn't put on pressure. Yeah, I can play rough Mienshao. You're probably going to switch it out. Yeah, you're going to fake out. So you're going to fake out. And now you want me to kill Mienshao here. I believe I fell for that bait. We're going to see the Sludge Bomb into Kyogre. You want this thing chipped down. That's what you want to do. And I do fall for this bait right here. Personally, looking back at this, leaving Mienshao on the field was better for me. Because now what happens is Rillaboom just walks in. Right? I did not play this game very well at all by the looks of things. At least these first few turns. Right? So now Rillaboom's going to come back in and put on immense pressure. And I lose all the momentum I have in Trick Room. Had I maybe, you know, perhaps left that Mienshao on the field, I would have actually been able to get, like, Water Spouts and Scalds off on the following turn, right? I could have protected Kyogre, maybe pivoted out of Mimikyu even, got into the next position here. I would have had Mienshao, I would have had a full health Kyogre, maybe had Instant on the field for Fake Out. Like, that would have just been ideal, right? I don't know in what world I actually ever make that call, but definitely not killing Mienshao would have definitely been the right play there. It's just, I don't think I make that call. Like, that's tough, right? Because I just came from a game 1 where I didn't do enough in Trick Room to now I'm saying, okay, I need to do not enough in Trick Room again, you know? Whereas my mindset was, okay, I need to do more in Trick Room. And as you can see, that's not working out for me here. So Rillaboom comes back on the field. Kyogre's still not in the greatest spot. I'm actually kind of forced to protect. I'm either forced to protect or forced to assume that this Rillaboom thinks my Kyogre is going to protect and just get the attack off here, which is still tough. I bring in Incineroar here because if this is some sort of Assault Vest Rillaboom, which I believe it is, then Kyogre would have potentially taken that Grassy Glide, but I do think I was a little bit too low to potentially live that. We do see the Grassy Glide go into Incineroar here, so I could have actually gotten a free attack right there, which would have been clutch. In fact, they actually doubled that slot, right? Trying to get rid of the Mimikyu. Makes perfect sense. And now things get interesting here, right? Because I have so many threats on the field that I can't deal with all of them. I want it, like I said, I want to deal with this Weezing. I want to get it off the field because it's the one thing I really can't break through that quickly. Sludge Bomb threatens Rillaboom. I mean, Rillaboom doesn't have enough health right now to actually threaten anything in this game outside of maybe a Grassy Glide. Right? So it's not amazing right now, but like I can't break through this Weezing. So at some point, I have to break through the Weezing. Although I also at some point have to break through Rillaboom here. Right? So it's super, super unfortunate that I kind of have too many pieces that I need to hit before I can actually capitalize here. But we're going to see this Flare Blitz come out, go into that Rillaboom, and it is going to not kill it, which is perfectly fine, understandable. But once again, I'm at that same complex we were in last time. This is the last turn of Trick Room. Right? They want exactly what you're about to see here. They want exactly Calyrex on the field in from a U-turn. And if I kill Rillaboom, that's exactly what they want because Cali comes in for free. Right? This is exactly what they wanted here. And I gave it, and I played right into their hands. It's a little unfortunate. Obviously, very well played from my opponent. Don't get me wrong. I just think there's a lot more. I had options to stop this I guess, winning line from my opponent, and I didn't take that. So, at this point, we do go for the Scald, and Scald's going into Weezing. If you're asking why I didn't click Fake Out, is because I thought they'd expect the Fake Out, right? Like I said, my game plan was to stop this stat line from happening. Right, to stop that Rillaboom going out into Calyrex, and I figured to myself, Flare Blitz shouldn't be killing. If it kills, okay, it is what it is. At least I get a knockout. But Flare Blitz shouldn't be killing. As you see, it didn't kill. So, if I click Fake Out, and you hard switch into Cali, I actually gain nothing because you get Cali on the field anyways. And I figured that was an option, that they would hard switch into Cali reading the Fake Out. So I figured maybe at least if I Flare Blitz that slot, Cali would switch into a Flare Blitz and then be put in Grassy Glide range for Rillaboom to finish off later. Got that read wrong. Was not my safest read. I had other reads, had other plays I possibly could have made. But at this point, it's not looking very good for me. So I'm bouncing back and forth. Should I bring in Rillaboom? Should I bring in Mimikyu? I think I ended up going Mimikyu here. There is no correct play. Calyrex is on the field outside of Trick Room. Mimikyu or Rillaboom will both die. I really don't have a lot to play with here. Now, I have to find a way to get rid of Weezing. I don't know if I can get rid of Weezing. Obviously, Weezing wants to chip down my Kyogre. Right? I'd imagine we're going to see the Protect from Calyrex. But as I mentioned earlier, Weezing's neutralizing gas right now does not allow me... does not allow me to have that grassy terrain. So I have no pressure whatsoever with this Rillaboom right now. And I also can't kill Cali as we saw in game 1 with a Scald. So Water Spout's not going to kill because they're going to launch an Astro Barrage. Right? So I have really nothing to do. Maybe I should have brought Mimikyu in first. Not really much I could have done here. I have to try and just get rid of this Weezing. The problem is getting rid of the Weezing leaves Calyrex alone. And it was just super well played. He put me in a lot of pins. There's not much I can really do here. We're going to see the Astro Barrage. Obviously, Mimikyu is going to die. Calyrex is going to get boosted up here. Perhaps maybe I should have scalded the Calyrex, going for maybe a crit to potentially pick up the knockout. Because then maybe perhaps there was a chance. But once again, there's still that Rillaboom in the back. Scald, of course, I did target Weezing here, so it's not really going to pick up a knockout. In fact, it does live on like 2 HP, which is kind of unfortunate. But it literally doesn't matter here. Kyogre going to go down to 42 HP. Rillaboom's going to come in for my opponent here because you have to bring in Fake Out pressure because you know I'm bringing on Fake Out pressure, right? And there's literally just nothing I can do. I kind of need you to mess up, or I need my opponent to mess up here is my really only win con. So Rillaboom comes in for my opponent. They should be faking out my Rillaboom. They know I'm the faster Rillaboom, but I don't think it matters. Faking out Rillaboom here is the optimal play because if I fake out your Rillaboom, you're dead, and I obviously cannot fake out your Cali, right? My one win condition here is that maybe perhaps you mess up and I protect Kyogre and I get my Grassy Glide into Calyrex and it crits and it kills. That is the only possible option or the only stat line that I see here because if I don't protect Kyogre, I just die to the Astro I need Calyrex gone and I need you to not fake out Rillaboom and hopefully get the crit. There's nothing else to that. I took a lot of damage early on in this game. And like I said, I've let them play to the same stat line we played in game 1. We played to the exact same thing, right? Last turn of Trick Room, you pivoted in Cali. Cali cleaned up after Trick Room, right? And I've used Cali a little bit in this format, right? And that's exactly how you play the Trick Room matchup. And they're playing super, super well right now. It's just, I think I could have capitalized on that a little more, right? Because knowing that that's what the Cali player wants to do, right? I have to be able to capitalize on that. I have to be able to take that away from them. If I can't take that away from them, I've really got nothing going for me. The Rillaboom was super, super, super clutch for my opponent right there. Game 1 was the game I should have been winning, right? The crit was unfortunate. I don't think I positioned properly in that game, but the crit was still unfortunate because I still think I did enough to win in game 1. However, it is what it is. This game 2, though, I definitely do not deserve, right? Bartosz 100% outplayed me, 100%. I got to stop them from getting to what they want to do, right? I was kind of focused on what I was trying to do, right? And that was getting damage up in Trick Room and putting on pressure. But at some point, I need to realize that putting on pressure isn't the play there, right? I need to stop what they want to do, right? I fell into the I guess you want to call it like a habit or just the misconception of that I need to put damage up in Trick Room, right? And by putting up damage in Trick Room, it's great, and that's what you should be trying to do, but not when it's going to allow Cali to come back onto field and do exactly what it did, not only in game 1, but in game 2 as well. So, very well played to Bartosz right there. Unfortunate that I did take the L for Canada right there. For those of you who are curious, Canada did end up tying the week versus Poland at 4-4, and we are now fighting for our lives in the tournament in the last round for Argentina. I believe my match is going to be on the official Victory Road YouTube channel, so if you're interested in that, it will probably be over there. I don't think I'm going to be allowed to upload it over here, but with that, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the match analysis. If you did, feel free to leave a like. Also subscribe so you don't miss out on more content. And with that, I just realized I never edited to make it 2-0 for Bartosz, but either way, great game to Bartosz, and best of luck to Poland moving forward in the tournament. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in a future video.